Mary treasured these things in her heart and often pondered what they meant. And that's Luke 2:19. I have a confession to make. I've often been curious about meditation, especially as Mineral Wells, the town where I'm the director of tourism, is shifting back to being a destination for wellness. Meditation and mindfulness are key practices of those seeking wellness in mind, body, and spirit. Meditation is also vital to those of us seeking to live the life God has for us. Much like the Sabbath, meditation is a gift from God. It's also an instruction for Christ followers that appears all throughout the Old and New Testament. The only concept I had for meditation was of a New Age yogi sitting cross-legged with their index fingers touching their thumbs to form a circle and chanting until they became one with the earth and emptied their mind. And while I'm in no way condemning those who meditate in this way, I just don't believe it's what God had in mind when He prompted us to meditate in the Bible. Honestly, the idea of emptying my mind was also quite intimidating for me. That would be a lot like trying to herd 100 cats. It's impossible and frustrating. And warnings of being led astray from well-meaning Christians kept me from ever pressing in to learn more. I didn't trust myself enough to know the difference, and it just felt safer to simply avoid it altogether. Yes, there are many non-biblical uses of meditation that promote non-biblical goals and methods. But that doesn't mean Christians should abandon the practice entirely. Instead, let's search out what God intended meditation to be in our lives. When exploring the idea of meditation in Scripture, I found lots of words like ponder, muse, remember, consider, think on, treasure, delight in. And if we look at the Strong's Concordance, we'll see lots of phrases like to care for, to attend to, carefully revolve in the mind, imagine, study, mutter or utter, pray, sing, dwell on, reason, think, count over, take into account, and weigh. In Psalm 4:4, the word search is used. And in Psalm 19:14, the phrase in the meditation means resounding music or musing. And then in Luke 2:19, treasured is to preserve, to keep with oneself, to keep in mind, to remember. And pondered means to make, confer, encounter, converse, or bring together in one's mind. So the meditate spoken of in Scripture has nothing to do with a particular position of your body or a particular uttering or a chant. Biblical meditation is simply a way of spending intentional time with God, mulling over, pondering, and treasuring Him, His Word, and His character. Understanding the meaning of the word helps, but I still had questions. Maybe you do too. So, what does Christian meditation actually look like? How can we use it to draw closer to God? And what is the purpose? So let's look at some purposes and benefits of meditation. The first would be it's a way of storing Scripture in your heart. Meditation is different from simply reading Scripture. It's spending time with what you've read, mulling it over in your head, giving consideration and thought to it throughout your day. And number two, it's a way of learning to get still. In today's world where we wear so many hats and have what seems like 1,000 tasks and commitments every day, getting still can be so hard. God intended us to live from a place of rest, but How can we rest if we can't even get still? Christian meditation helps to train you to get still and to live from a place of stillness, from a place of rest. And the third purpose or benefit of Christian meditation would be it trains you to hear God. So as you get quiet and still and you really start to ponder over and breathe in the scripture or consider his goodness or just spend time in gratitude for who he is and what he's done, you begin to recognize how he speaks specifically to you. So how do you practice Christian meditation? Well, there are several methods, and I plan to dig deeper into the different types in a book that I'm writing. But for now, here are just a few different types that you might try. A guided meditation, and I'll have some suggestions for some here on YouTube down below. Another one would be called scribing or writing scripture. Sound familiar? Yeah, our Scripture Cultivations are really a form of meditation. Use a sacred word or a focal passage to ponder throughout the day. Another method would be practicing Lectio Divina, and I've done a whole video on that. I'll put a link to that down below in case you want to check that out. And the last one I'll share today is using borrowed prayers. And again, I have a link down below to a podcast that Emily P. Freeman did about using borrowed prayers. It's a really great little podcast. Again, there are so many ways to meditate, and you'll want to explore lots of them to find the ones that fit you the best. Regardless of the method or technique that you use, there are some similarities in how you prepare yourself. The first would be something called a brain dump, and that's where you just grab a pen and a paper and just start jotting down everything that comes to mind. It can be fragments, it can be frustrations or joys, everything. This isn't intended for anybody to ever see, but it's just designed to help you clear out the clutter, the mental clutter, and make room for stillness and focus. Then you want to find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed or distracted. You might find it helpful to play some soft instrumental worship or Christian music, and I'll drop a couple of links down below for that too. Then you just want to get comfortable, and it's completely up to you whether you lie down on the floor or sit in your favorite chair or even do as Nathaniel did and rest under a tree. The main thing is to find a position where you are relaxed. And then you just want to start to make note of any tension in your body. You might notice that your shoulders are drawn up, or your jaws are clenched, or the temples of your head feel tense. This doesn't have to take a long time. You just want to do a quick once over and just note those tensions. And then slowly inhale, listening to the sound and noticing how your tummy rises or your chest, how it rises. And then slowly exhale, release the tension. Take a few more slow and intentional breaths. This helps to draw your attention inward so that you become more present in the moment. And then you're ready to move into a place of meditation, more focused on God and less focused on all the things. If, while you're spending time with God in meditation, you find your mind drifting, don't let frustration win. Simply go back to your breathing and recenter, or begin to repeat your phrase, your verse, or your prayer, depending on the type of meditation that you are practicing. But be kind to yourself as you grow in your ability to focus on and listen to God. Hopefully, if you came to this with apprehension about meditation, it feels a little less mysterious and mystical. And if you already have meditation practices you enjoy, I would love to hear about them as I continue to study and experiment in my own devotional life. So feel free to comment below with your own meditation practices. And if you're doing the Scripture Cultivations with us, I would like to encourage you to just underline, circle, or in some way highlight every word that the Bible uses to convey the idea of meditation. You'll find it helps you to understand it better as you see it referred to in the different ways. I also have a video about color coding that you might find helpful. I'll link to that down below in the description. And if you're not sure what in the world Scripture Cultivations are, well, they're kind of like a scripture reading list or a scripture writing list, but but more. So the whole purpose of Beneath the Fig Tree is to help you cultivate a devotional life that you love. So as your devotional life mentor, my mission is to give you lots of different tools and ideas and inspiration so that you can experiment and find what works for you in this season of your life. So rather than give you a reading list or a writing list and say, here you go, and turn you loose, I really just want to give you lots of different ideas. And that's what we do every month. Ways for you to engage with the Word and with God. And I also want to offer the safe place to explore without guilt, fear, or shame. So after you print off the Scripture Cultivations plan each month, join us over in the Figs Community Facebook group, where I often go live in the group and we can experiment and cultivate together. And we just all come together and share our devotional life. A lot of the Figs will share what God is saying to them, or the verses, that work through the verses together. It's just a really great, safe group to come and explore devotional life together, and just kind of it's a really encouraging and supportive group too. So hope to see you over there, and make sure that you hit the subscribe button and then click the little bell thingy so that you get notifications whenever new videos come out. And other than that, we'll see you soon, Figs.